All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Wahara Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect out here toiling in this truth. I'm Pathaka Moth Jim S. Dallas, and I'm just coming back at you with a really quick hit lesson. And I'm going to entitle this, The Chariots of Israel Are Coming, man. They're on their way, and they're coming to destroy, and they're coming to save, man. Ultimately, they're coming to destroy, man. You know what I'm saying? And the majority of the nation of Israel, which is prophesied in Zechariah 13 and 8, is going to be a part of that destruction, man. You know, they're going to be cut off and die, man. You know, those that have attached themselves to Esau and his way, his kingdom, they've chosen Esau over their power, the Most High Yahweh, whom the world ignorantly refers to as a God, Jehovah, Yahweh, Ahaya. His true biblical name is Yahweh, and his only begotten Son, whom the world ignorantly refers to as Jesus Christ. His true biblical name is Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? These two entities, which are the powers of the nation of Israel, which the nation of Israel consists of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians of Negroid descent. You make up the 12 no longer lost tribes of the nation of Israel of the Bible, man. You are the true chosen people of those two entities, Yahweh wa Yahweh Shai, man. You know, the Father and the Son, you know, and the chariots are vehicles of the angels, man. You know what I'm saying? And they've been recorded in history, you know, during the time of Alexander the Greek. You know, he had encounters, you know, with them, and they're in history, man, and they're here until this very day, man. You know what I'm saying? And the brother GMS, Word of Life, the brother out of LA, you know, he puts up, and I believe he has another channel, GMS Behold the Truth, or something to that nature. Salakia for if I'm getting that wrong. Behold Truth or Behold the Truth or something like that. He puts chariot videos up daily, on a daily basis, man. That brother is man, he has a lot for those chariots, you know, the chariots, and he puts those videos up daily, man. You know what I'm saying? And they're here, you know, they're prophesied in scriptures, and we're in those times that they're about to return. You know, Yahushua, of course, is coming in what's known as a so-called UFO. You know what I'm saying? These people are going to look up and bug out when they see it. You know, all these things are in the scriptures, you know. That terrible fear and wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, you know, is going to be upon these people, you know, and because they don't understand what they're looking at, because Esau has bugged them out, you know, with his so-called sci-fi and, you know, aliens, you know, come on, man. No, they're the angels. They're the vehicles of the Lord, the vehicles of the angels, man. You know, the chariots of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the chariots of Israel, man. You know, and they're about to return. And that simultaneous thing of salvation and destruction is going to be going on, man, you know, because they're coming to take down this place, you know, destroy this kingdom and save the elect and 1/3, man, you know, for the beginning, because the scriptures say in 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter and verse 9, Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's those two blessings being fulfilled pursuant to Genesis, the 27th chapter, man. You know what I'm saying? So when you get into, as a matter of fact, let's just get into it. Habakkuk, the 3rd chapter, goes into it and breaks it down. It's Habakkuk chapter, Habakkuk. Phone be tripping, man. It never fails. It's lucky, y'all. I know I do that every time, man. This phone is crazy. You know, that's just Satan, you know. Habakkuk, the 3rd chapter and verse 8. And it reads, was the Lord displeased against the rivers? Was thine anger against the rivers? Was thy wrath against the sea? That thou didst ride upon thine horses and thy chariots of salvation. You know what I'm saying? So within that scripture alone, you get the salvation and the destruction, man. That's why Habakkuk is asking, was the Lord displeased against the rivers? You know, was his anger against the rivers? You know, was his wrath against the sea? Because destruction is going to be going on within the earth, man. You know, he's not going to destroy the earth. He's going to destroy within the earth. You know what I'm saying? Ecclesiastes 1 and 4 goes into that. The earth abideth forever, man. You know, so these Christians are bugged out. The unlearned are bugged out. They don't know what's going on. Ain't no meteor or you know, some type of rock from outer space, giant rock or whatever, space debris is not going to hit the earth and destroy the earth. The earth is not going to float into the sun and be destroyed, man. The Lord didn't create to destroy it permanently and totally, man. That's not what the purpose of the Lord is, man. You know what I'm saying? So, but that anger, that wrath is going to be happening within the earth, man. But it says that thou didst ride upon thine horses. Then those horses represent those chariots, man. And a horse represents power, which we're going to get more into that as we go along. And it says, in thy chariots of salvation, so simultaneous destruction / salvation simultaneously, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what's coming. The chariots are on their way, and that's what they're bringing. And 2/3 of the nation of Israel are in trouble, man. You know what I'm saying? So those chariots are coming to get busy, man. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, when you read in Isaiah, the 66th chapter, let's get that real quick. Isaiah 66 and verse 15, it reads, for behold, the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire, man. You know what I'm saying? So the chariots of the Lord, are coming like a whirlwind. You know what I'm saying? To render his anger. Whose anger? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai's, man. That righteous anger, that indignation that he has, man. You know what I'm saying? Primarily for these Edomites, but for the wicked in general, because the majority of these people, these nations, and the majority of the nation of Israel have grabbed a hold of the ways of Esau. That's why they're known and seen as heathen Gentiles, in the New Testament, which is another lesson for another day. We're not going to get into that, and they're not going to let that go, man. And ultimately they're going to take this devil's, which they're already doing, his juicy juice, and they're going to ultimately take the MOTB, his mark, man, which is a physical left hand mark, man, and they're going to basically allow themselves to become the ultimate servant of the left hand, man, Esau, and they're going to choose him over the Lord, man. And that's why the Lord is going to bring these chariots, along with the thermonuclear missiles, but the chariots are going to be getting busy as well. And he's going to bring these chariots to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire, man, And it says, verse 16, for by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many, man. So this is how, just like when a parent pleads with his child, how do? They whoop that ass, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to be that ultimate final ass whooping for the 2/3 of the nation of Israel, man. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is going to plead with them by fire, man. He's going to bring fire, and burn everything up, man, and burn them up, So, because the Lord is coming to take this place now, man, and punish the wicked, punish these wicked ass people, man. So let's, real quick, let's go to Revelations, the 19th chapter, and verse 11. And it reads, and I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse. Now that horse is again, man. We read about the horse in Habakkuk, the 3rd chapter, and he that sat upon him was called faithful and true, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war. So he's coming to judge these people, the wicked, 2/3 of the nation of Israel are going to be cut off and die. He's going to put them to death and make war, man, because he's coming to take down the current rulership, this current establishment, kingdom, this beast system. You know what I'm saying? Which is Esau's, the so-called self-proclaimed white man. You know what I'm saying? And that war is spoken of in Revelations, the 12th chapter and verse 7. There was not an actual war in the spirit realm with the Most High, man. Get out of here with Satan, no, come on, man. No, this war, they showed you that in that movie Independence Day with Will Smith. This war is going to happen right here in the skies, in your skies, which is a heaven, because there's three realms of heaven spoken of in the scriptures, in Psalms, in the book of Psalms, and then also Apostle Paul broke it down too when he went into the spirit, man, into the spirit realm. There's three realms, and the first realm is right here, on the earth, man, which represents the rulership of the planet Earth, but it also represents the realm of your sky. When you look up and see where the birds fly, where the planes fly, that's a realm of heaven as well. And then your second heaven is outside of that, outside of the ozone layer or firmament, pursuant to the scriptures, which is where Esau has his satellites and space stations, which is your second realm of heaven. And then your third realm is further out in the fourth dimension, that no man can reach in the physical form, where the Most High Yahweh Shai and the angels reside, man, and the spirits, they reside there, So there's three realms of heaven, man, So it says, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. Horse represents power, and a good illustration or example of that is Ford made a car called the Mustang, which was very powerful, especially when they first came out. They were very powerful and packed with speed. They were very fast, and everybody, kind of, was allured by it and was drawn to them, but they had that emblem of that Mustang on the side, man, so it represents power, speed and power, but that power. And it said, so behold, a white horse. So he's going to be in a righteous, pure, that represents that righteousness, that cleanliness, that purity, a chariot, man, a powerful chariot. And he that sat upon him, which is Yahushai, was called faithful and true. And in righteousness, he doth judge and make war. So that's what he's coming to do. That's judging and make war, because he's going to take this place down, man. When you read in Daniel, the 7th chapter, it goes into how Daniel said he beheld till the thrones were cast down, man. So those thrones being cast down is simultaneous with this war, him coming to judge and make war right here in Revelations 19 and 11, which lines up with Revelations the 12th chapter and verse 7. That war in heaven, man. You know what I'm saying? All synonymous, man. So this is what he's coming to do. And I'm going to continue to read verse 12. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. That's synonymous with those thrones, man. This current rulership, Edomite rulership, this heathen rule, what I'm saying, until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled, which we're in the time of the fulfillment of the Gentiles, man. You know what I'm saying? Esau and these heathen nations in joint heir with him, on the left-hand side. There's going to be there's a right-hand joint heir with Yahushua and the elect, and there's a left-hand joint heir with Esau and these nations, man. You know what I'm saying? They gave his power to the beast for an hour, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's that joint heir rulership on the left-hand side, man. You know what I'm saying? So his eyes were as a flame of fire, which is described in Revelations, the 1st chapter, in Daniel's, the 10th chapter. And on his head were many crowns, because he's coming to take dominion. Psalm, the 2nd chapter, goes into that, He was given the heathen and the uttermost part of the earth for his possession, man. You know what I'm saying? So he's coming to take what's his. Daniel, the 7th chapter, goes into that as well. He said his servants shall fight, and take the kingdom and possess it forever and ever and even forever, roughly paraphrasing, It says, and he had a name written that no man knew but himself. And that's, of course, you got groups like IUIC that don't understand what that's talking about. That's going into his rank, man. It's not saying we don't know the name. How we, when you read in Acts, the 4th chapter, it goes into how there's one name given among men whereby we can be saved, man. Given among men. So there's a name given. You just don't have it. Y'all just don't have it, If you're not calling on the right name, if you're calling on a higher or still saying Christ or Jesus, or, hey, the Lord ain't dealing with you, man. Because there is a name given among men. It's right there in Acts. Of course, Proverbs 18 and 10, The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and are safe. The righteous. These guys ain't righteous, man. You know, so hey, they don't have the names, but those chosen vessels, predestinated and chosen from the foundation of the world, Ephesians 1 and 4, Romans 8, they have the names, man. Yahweh wa Yahushai. Verse 13, and he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name was called the Word of the Most High. John 1 and 1. Who is that? That spoken, that first spoken spirit, Yahushai, man, which when you read down in verse 14, he walked among men. He walked here on earth. He was here, man. He became flesh and blood, bones and sinews, just like us, came in our form and walked among us, man, But that's going into Yahushai, which Isaiah 63 goes in that, which I'm going to get in a second, just to go further prove that power. Verse 14, and the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses. Again, those chariots, the legions of angels, man. You know what I'm saying? Those heavenly hosts that's going to be with him, that army, man, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. That's that purity, that cleanliness, the righteousness, But it says, and they followed upon white horses. So they're all in chariots, man, So let me jump over real quick to Isaiah 66, not 66, Isaiah 63, Salakia. Let's jump over to Isaiah 63, and I'm just going to deal with verse 1, because those horses represent power, man. So this is Isaiah chapter 63 and verse 1. Who is this that cometh from Edom? Edom means red. Esau, came, he was that firstborn, came out red all over, like an hairy garment. Not hairy, not red and hairy, but like an hairy garment, which was those ram skins and badger skins that we dyed red, man. You know what I'm saying? With these red dyes made from, different things, vegetables, plants and vegetables, beetles and insects, certain animals, and they made these, and I believe that primarily they was using these beetles to make this certain red dye. And Esau's color when he came out was the color of those red dyed furs, That's the hairy garment, that we use for coverings, Those are the hairy garments that he came out red like, for those that don't understand, and think Esau is not the so-called white man, which he still got that mark on him today, which goes all the way back to the garden with Cain. That mark that was put on him was leprosy. He had his melanin taken away from him, his pigment, and his blood shows forth through his translucent skin, man. You know what I'm saying? So he still to this day has that mark on him. They're the only babies and people born into the world to this very day that comes out red, man, because when you read in that account in Genesis, the 25th chapter, it doesn't say anything about Jacob. It doesn't describe him because he came out like everybody else, brown toned, But it says, so this is dealing with Edom, the so-called self-proclaimed white man, woman, and child. Who is that? Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? Basra is a chief city in Edom, which that chief city today is America. This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength, which is going into those chariots, man. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. So we know this is dealing with Yahushai. So let's go into this word real quick. I want to go into this word real quick just to prove that, because those horses, those chariots represents power, man. Let's go into this word strength real quick. And it's there it is right there. Strength, power, might, power, strength, power, might, human strength, strength of angels. There it is. Power of the Most High, strength of animals, strength produce wealth. So you get it. So it's dealing with that power, man. Strength, power, so those horses, which is what he's returning in, represent power, As a matter of fact, when you read in Matthew, the 24th chapter, it goes into it, man, because when those chariots hit this atmosphere, Oh my goodness, man. We've never experienced anything like it, man. You know what I'm saying? This is Matthew 24:30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds. There it is, them chariots of heaven, with power and great glory. Power, horses, power. That's what they represent. The chariots are very powerful. And when they come in this atmosphere, it's going to shake things up. It's going to have, oh my goodness, things are going to be shaken. They're going to bring force, man. You know what I'm saying? So he's coming with power and great glory. You know what I'm saying? So let me get this in Revelations now, because that's what he's coming in. Those clouds, man. It's Revelation chapter 1 and verse 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, which are the chariots, and every eye shall see him. And they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so amen. So it says he's coming with clouds, which are the chariots, man. And every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him. So he separated them devils, those devils that pierced him from, ain't they when they be part of every eye? So the Lord has a special something for them, man. You know what I'm saying? He has it because he took the time to separate them. They would be part of the every eye, but he made a point to let you know, but I'm gonna get your ass. I got something for you, man. You know what I'm saying? And all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so, because they're not going to be, everything that they've been taught and expect is not what they're going to get. It's not going to be like that, man. So he ain't coming down, floating down with Hershey candy kisses and cotton candy and flowers, man. It's going to be a day of darkness. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be ugly, man. Ain't going to be no light. It's going to be a gloomy, ugly, dark, gruesome, harsh, whatever, all the words you can think of that's not good. It's going to be that kind of day and that kind of time when he returns, man, And let's prove real quick that the clouds are the chariots, man, because we got some naysayers out here, man, Let's prove that real quick. This is Psalms chapter 104 and verse 3. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind, man. So the clouds are the chariots, man, which when you go into the word chariot is vehicle of the angels, man. You know what I'm saying? And they're the chariots of Israel, if you can understand that. So let's get that real quick. Let's just prove that they're the chariots of Israel, man. This is 2 Kings chapter 2 and verse 12. And it reads, and Elisha saw it, and he cried, my father, the chariot of Israel and the horsemen thereof. And he saw him no more, and he took hold of his own clothes and rent them in two pieces. So right here, Elisha, who was describing a chariot, called it the chariot of Israel, man. You know what I'm saying? So the chariots are the chariots of Israel, and you got Jake out here bugged out because of Esau, and they fearing him. You know what I'm saying? Which 2/3 should fear him because they're wicked, man, in these times, and 2 parts are going to be cut off and die. You know what I'm saying? But let's real quick go to the account let's go to the account in the Apocrypha real quick. About to bring this lesson to a close in 2nd Esdras, the 13th chapter, because it goes into Yahushua's return and the chariots, man. Oh, yeah. Let me forget about this every time. It's crazy that I have to do this, but I have to go into another scripture before I can go into the Apocrypha. 13, and let's start at verse 3. This is 2nd Esdras 13 and verse 3. This phone is crazy, man. Esau said, boy, all this crap of Esau's technology and crap. 2nd Esdras 13 and 3. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, which that man is Yahushua, and the thousands of heaven represent the chariots. As a matter of fact, let's real quick. Let me go to the book of Psalms Any day now. The book of Psalms, chapter 68, in verse 17, and it reads, the chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels. And that makes the chariots and the angels synonymous, man, proving exactly what has been being said, man. The vehicles of the angels, man. You know what I'm saying? And we just proved that the clouds are the chariots. So they cloak themselves in the clouds, man. You know, the Lord is among them as in Sinai in the holy place. So let's go back now to 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, and verse 3. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And that man represents Yahushua. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things tremble that were seen under him. That's that power, man. He's coming down with that power. When the force and power of those chariots hit this atmosphere, it's gonna be on and popping, man. These people ain't gonna. It's gonna be fear. It's gonna be all fear, man. You know. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. And that voice represents, out of his mouth, represent that burned them, represents those laser beams. As a matter of fact, let's get that real quick. Those laser beams coming out of those chariots, man. You know. Let's go back to Habakkuk real quick. That's going into that simultaneous destruction / salvation. Habakkuk 3. And when you jump up to verse 4, it reads, and his brightness was as the light. He had horns coming out of his hand, and there was the hiding of his power. And when you go into that word horns, it literally means rays of light, man. You know, those laser beams, that concentrated, intense concentrated beam of light and heat, man. You know what I'm saying? Which are the, as a matter of fact, let's just go into it real quick. Let's just prove it. Let's just go into the word real quick. You know, let's go in this word horns. And it's right there, of rays of light. You know what I'm saying? So the horns coming out of his hands are those rays of lights, man. Those rays of light, those concentrated laser beams or beams of light and heat that are going to be coming out of those chariots, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what that's talking about. So let's go back real quick and finish this on out in 2nd Ezra 13, because the chariots are coming, man. So it says, verse 4, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire, because that's what they're about to bring, man. They're about to bring that fire, man. We read that in Isaiah 66 and 15, you know. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue that man that came out of the sea. And that sea is not talking about the actual sea down here on the earth. It's talking about the sea, the Shemayim, the heavens, man. He gonna come and crack them clouds, man. You know. And those that multitude of men of out of number from every wind, is all these nations going to come together. You know, as a matter of fact, that devil Ronald Reagan back in the day did a speech, and said that when he was going into the Star Wars program. Will we not all come together in one common cause? That devil, man. You know what I'm saying? And he did that address, man. That's what he was talking about, because these devils know, man. They know that Yahushua and the angels are going to return. That's what the Star Wars program was about. That's what this new program, these space cadets, space, that Trump came up with, and this whole space alliance and all this crap. That's what that's all about, man. Because they know, these devils are trying to hold on to their carnal blessing, a kingdom that's not theirs, man. Don't belong to them, man. They had it for temporary, for a little short period of time, that short season, because their forefather cried, man, in Genesis, the 27th chapter, but we're at the end of that, man. So its time is up, man, so let's continue. Verse 6, but I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region or place where out the hill was graven, and I could not. So Esdras thought he was looking at a mountain. He's just that's how big it was. He wasn't talking about actually what it looked like. He was trying to describe it, and and that's how big it was. Like, dude, this thing is big as a mountain, far as he could see, and it was that big, Verse 8, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. So these devils are going to be afraid, but the Lord is going to put the Spirit on them and make them fight, man. Make them fight, because He's going to destroy them, man. That's the Lord. That's the power of the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? Just like He put that spirit on Pharaoh, which these are the modern day pharaohs, Esau. He put that spirit on Pharaoh to continue to rebel and hold the children of Israel. When there was a point in time, Pharaoh was trying to let him go. He wanted to let him go, but the Lord put the spirit on him to rebel against it, man. So He could jack him up, man. And He gonna do the same thing to these devils, man, who are the modern day pharaohs, man, here in spiritual Egypt, in Sodom. Revelations 11. So they're gonna go ahead and try to fight, man, even though they're gonna be afraid, because the Lord is gonna put that spirit on them. Verse 9, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, because those beams of light are going to be coming out the chariots, man. He ain't gonna have to do nothing, just the chariots are gonna do it, man. We just read about the horns out of his hands, those rays of light. He ain't gonna need no sword or. Verse 10, but only I saw that he had sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest, which is representative of those rays of light, those laser beams, that concentrated light and heat. Verse 11, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So it scared the hell out of Esdras. You know what I'm saying? So you can imagine what he saw, but he saw the destruction of these devils, man. Everything is going to get destroyed. Everything's going to get burned up, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's coming, and the chariots are here. They're on their way, and they've been presenting themselves. So I'm going to just end it with real quick. I'm going to end it with this. So I'm going to say Shalom, and I'm going to end it off with a video from the brother, GMS Words of Life. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to end it off with my phone is a trip, man. I'm going to end it off with this right here. Yeah, let me end it.